Welcome everyone, my name is Ryan and I have got big news for all you Rimworld fans out there. That's right, from the look of this picture, a new DLC announcement has just been dropped. Not a lot of details yet, as they like to do, they tease a picture with an incoming transmission date. So this is over on Twitter. If you want to follow Tynan and Ludeon Studios, the links for those are down in the description, and I'm going to pin them in the comments too, so you can get up to date on the latest news, especially now when we've probably got some big news coming out soon. Also, I'll note, follow them on Discord. Go jump in their server. They always post announcements over there like simultaneously as over on Twitter, so check that out. But what we're going to do today is just take a look at this picture and really analyze it, do a bit of speculation. I am a huge Rimworld fan. I've got over 4,000 hours logged on Steam with Rimworld, and of course I've done plenty of series here on my YouTube channel, which, by the way, those are linked in the description too, so if you want to check some of those out after this video, feel free. I encourage it. Maybe get hyped for the new incoming DLC, and I'm certainly going to do a full playthrough, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. But let's jump into the discussion and really start to analyze, maybe do some speculation and think about what is to come. Alright, we've got our photo pulled up here in the viewer, so we can zoom in as we want and maybe focus on specific details and stuff, but let's just pull back and get kind of a feel for the overall here. So we've got looks like a male human. I would say xenotype is baseline, probably. Who knows, maybe there's something hidden in there. But standing in front of a planet, which is fairly normal for previous photos like this. And we've got some asteroids. Now, one thing that jumps out at me about the background right away are these shuttles and even the ringed space station. We can see one ringed station. What appears maybe this is a space station over here too. But there are 1, 2, 3, little one down there, 4, 5, and maybe I'm missing a 6th and a 7th shuttle in this picture, and they're going back and forth to the planet, maybe even to this hub here. That is interesting to me. Let's do something real quick. Let's pull up, yes, the previous DLC's photo. Let's just notice the background on this one. We won't spend too much time here, but I don't see anything of too much note in this one. You know, we've got some glowing asteroids and it's beautiful, but there's not a lot of detail there like there is here. So I'm wondering if maybe there's going to be some sort of new dropship shuttle, or if they're just going to enhance the already existing type of dropships and stuff. We'll see, but that's probably my first speculation, and who knows, maybe when we'll get some expansion on the orbital traders, that could be really fun to see too. But let's focus on the main part now, the figure. So again, I would say probably baseliner, but really, the first thing that kind of jumps out at me is this bird right here. So it's a crow or a raven, maybe. Let's just zoom in a little bit on that. There it is. It looks like it's just about to perch on his shoulder and land here. Yeah, or either maybe taking off too, but definitely in close contact with the character. That screams familiar to me. Some sort of animal accompaniment, some sort of, creature that maybe further expansion on the animal bonding too. And since it's a bird, as far as I know, we don't have this kind of a bird in the vanilla game. Maybe there's going to be a whole new list of animals, or maybe just 1 or 2, but I'm thinking some sort of animal companion, familiar system, expanding on that bonding that we've already got, which would be really cool. Maybe some perks from it, just like in a D&D campaign. If you get a familiar, they're going to provide your character with some limited benefits, obviously nothing too powerful. I wonder if this is true. Will this companion be immortal? Will they be unkillable? Or is it going to be something you're going to have to protect and guard? Because that could be a real challenge. Maybe it'll be toggleable too, like they'll give you the option. Animal companions are immortal or not, so you got to really be careful with them. But I can see everything from a little tanky tortoise to a raven, that could be your scout for sure. I love that idea. Okay, and pulling back out to the larger picture here, what's the next thing that kind of jumps out at us? Maybe the rifle over the character's shoulder. I mean, I think if let's look at this other picture, she is definitely holding the cube, as we now know, which was an important part of the previous DLC for sure. So what he's holding could signify some sort of addition for sure. And obviously it's a firearm. Some sort of futuristic rifle. Not too futuristic, though. It looks like something you might see on the shelf of any gun store, maybe 10, 20 years down the road, but who knows, you know, that's just pure speculation. There could be some high-tech advanced power source or ammunition in here, too, so maybe new weapons, which would be a lot of fun for sure. And it's always good to throw a little competition in there with the modders too, you know, because there's a whole bunch of different modded weapons you can do, but we'll see what the true development team over at Rimworld and Ludeon Studios can do with the weapons in the game, if they do touch those. But let's look at the next thing. I tell you what really keeps standing out to me is what's on this character's belt down here. Let's really zoom into this particular part. Again, using our information from previous DLC releases, we know that she's got some of these liquids here on her little belt, which again came into play in that Anomaly DLC. What we're looking at here appear to be mushrooms in one of his little canisters, and then it has to be precious gems or maybe just some sort of minerals, who knows. We got a variety here too, so what he's doing with these and how they're going to be, you know, implemented, certainly curious. Also, what's he holding here? Is he holding another one of these canisters? No, maybe not. It's really hard to tell. This is the bottom of the photo. We don't quite see his knee here, but he's definitely gripping something in his hand. Gosh, it almost looks like a scroll container or something. I'm not sure there. Maybe it's just a barbell. Maybe we're going to get exercise equipment. Probably not. But these little plugs too in the midsection kind of look like they might represent the tops of these canisters. Like if I flipped this and then inserted it, is that basically what the top would look like? Maybe, you know, we're looking at some sort of injection system, something to bolster combat, a new drug system in the game. Hard to say, but nevertheless, I am certain that this is going to be some sort of component of the new DLC. So let's pull back out and check out some other details. All right, and another pullback. Kind of considering the big picture here, what other details haven't we analyzed about his body? Because of course that was a key component in understanding some of the things that were released with Anomaly. Certainly. I mean, look at this squid creature on its back. Heck yeah, that was a dead giveaway. But this little section down here, let's zoom in on it, is kind of drawing my eye for sure. We haven't really looked at it. It's some sort of messenger pouch with what appears to be either a timekeeping device or a compass for getting directions and traveling, which is very interesting. And also over here we have what appear, again, maybe to be canisters for containing messages, or who knows, maybe it's some sort of container for a new preserving method of food or something, you know, that's hard to say. But really both of those, like a container for messages or long-term food preservation, kind of lend the idea of an explorer, someone traveling the world map, you know, instead of just hunkering down in a colony per se. If we get a big picture here taken together with the shuttles, the bird, which signifies movement and freedom, obviously the gun, which is something you would need on the road, and not to mention what appear to be vaguely traveling supplies. I think we might be looking at some sort of expansion on the greater world map itself. That would be incredible, you know, further diplomatic options with other colonies and factions, just a deeper faction system itself. Maybe introduce new types of factions too, who knows. But that could be a really fruitful ground. And you know, I've often done playthroughs where I find myself never going to the world map because it's not truly necessary. It can certainly be fun doing the quest system and trading and going about in caravans, but again, it's not totally necessary. You can just hunker down and turtle up. But maybe this, if we do get an expansion on the world system, will entice players like me or just people who forget you can caravan to actually get out there and explore and stuff. Yes, let's see. So we've got various little hooks and clasps. The armor itself is cool. Oh, I'm just noticing too, we've got a little insignia here. That's interesting. Maybe again, this represents like a new faction type or something, you know, maybe an ideology that this character, you know, he's certainly seen some battles with the scar over his eye. He's not an ugly gentleman though, but he's got that striking red hair, which is very cool. Yep. I think we've covered most of the details. The world itself looks rather inhospitable. We've got lava down here. It appears to be maybe methane-based atmosphere with this purplish hue. I don't know. I'm no exobiologist or planetary scientist, but I am really excited for this upcoming DLC, and I know you guys are too out there, so make sure that you leave me some comments. Tell me what you think. Let's get a discussion going down there. I'm going to read all your thoughts and stuff. And of course, if you think maybe I'm onto something or totally off base, let me know too. Of course, hit that like button on the video, subscribe, because we're going to be doing more releases as we get more info, and of course a full playthrough once the DLC is out, guys. I really appreciate you tuning in for this fun little speculative video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all on the next one.